Myself, Professor Khemchand Surana. In last session, we have started with the cephalosporin antibiotics. In that, we have seen the introductory part of this cephalosporin, their generalized structure, their properties, about history, uh, and also further we have seen about the chemistry of cephalosporin and nomenclature of the cephalosporins. So in that again the classification in shortly we have seen. So there are what different four generation of this cephalosporin with examples till this we have seen in previous session. So now in today's session we will start with the classification of your cephalosporin antibiotic with structures. So as earlier we have discussed, there are what the four generations of these cephalosporins. So this is what the first generation of cephalosporin. So basic structure is given over here. So whatever the difference between the penicillin structure and cephalosporin structure is like what the penicillin having what the 5-member ring, and in cephalosporin there is what 6-member ring. Okay, so in penicillin only one substitution at acyl side chain, but in case of cephalosporin there are three different substituent. You can see at position 3, at position 7, and at your acyl side chain R1 will be there. Okay, so these are what the three different substituent into the structure. You can see at position 3 there is what R2 will be there, at position 7 there is what R3 will be there, and to the this amide or the acyl side chain there is what R1 will be there. So this is what about basic structure. So initially just practice this basic structure, then we will learn about the different structures. So again the examples of these first generation cephalosporin are given over here. So first example is what your cephaloridine. Okay, so in this structure at R1 there is what thiophene ring with CH2 will be there, at R2 there is what pyridine with CH2, and R3 there is what hydrogen will be there. Next example is what your cephalothene. Okay, so again in case of cephalothene at R1 similar as like your cephaloridine. Okay, thiophene ring with CH2. Then at R2 there is what CH2O, C double bond O, CH3 will be there, and at R3 there is what hydrogen. Next example is what your cefapyridine. Okay, so again pyridine will be there, and at fourth position of the pyridine there is sulfur and CH2 will be there, and at R2 there is what CH2O, C double bond O, CH3 will be there, and hydrogen will be there. This is what about cefapyridine. Next is what your cephalexin. Okay, so in this cephalexin there is what aminobenzyl kind of structure will be there. Okay, and at R2 there is what CH3 will be there, and at R3 hydrogen will be there. Next is what your cephaloglycine. Okay, so again same like your cephalexin at R1, at R2 there will be what CH2O, C double bond O, CH3, and at R3 there is what hydrogen. Next is what your cefadroxil. Okay, so this cefadroxil is important. The synthesis of cefadroxil also will ask in examination, that will look into in next slides. Okay, so next is what your cefadroxil, there is what phenol ring with CH2 NH2. Okay, CHNH2, and at R2 there is what CH3 will be there, and R3 there is hydrogen will be there. So these are what first generation cephalosporins. The first generations again the some examples given over here. Okay, so cifradine. Okay, so cifradine will be there. So there is what 1,4 unsaturated 1,4 saturated carbon. Okay, with CH2 NH2 will be there, and CH3 at R2, and at R3 there is what hydrogen will be there. Next example is what your cefazolin. Okay, so tetrazole ring with CH2. Okay, so in case of cefazolin there is what tetrazolin ring. Okay, and at R2 there is what thiadiazole. Okay, with CH3 S CH2. Okay, and hydrogen at R3. Next example is what your cifradine. Okay, so cifradine again the benzene ring with CH NH2, and at R2 there is what CH3 will be there, and at R3 there is hydrogen will be there. So these are what different examples of first generation cephalosporin. So basically first generation cephalosporin having what good activity against gram positive cocci, okay, and also they can be used to treat what some community derived gram negative infections, okay. So useful against basically what gram negative infections, okay, and these are also what useful against what your strepto whatever the these species of aureus, okay, uh, and also what the streptococcal infections, okay. So when penicillin has been avoided, so in case of whatever the aureus infections and also streptococcal infections, okay, so in this case the penicillins has been avoided at that case, so cephalosporins has been useful. So next is what your second generation cephalosporin. So in second generation cephalosporin, again basic structure given over here, okay, initially practice it, and the examples are given over here. So first example is what your cefamandole, okay. So at R1 in case of cefamandole there is what benzene CHOH will be there, and at R2 there is what triazole will be there, okay, 1 3 5 1 3 4 triazole will be there, okay, and at R3 there is what hydrogen will be there. Next example is what your cefoxitin, okay. So thiophene ring with CH2. At R2 there is what CH2O C double bond O NH2 and methoxy group at R3. This is what cefoxitin. Next example is what your cefuroxime, okay. So cefuroxime again here is what furan ring with C double bond N OCH3 and CH2O C double bond O NH2 with hydrogen. Next example is what your cefaclor, okay, benzene CH NH2 will be there, Cl and hydrogen at R2 R3 respectively. Next example is what your cephonicidin, okay. So in cephonicidin again this is what the benzyl alcohol kind of substituent will be there, and tetrazole, okay, at R2 and hydrogen at R3. So these are what second generation antibiotics. So these are having what variable activity against gram positive cocci and having increase in activity against your gram negative bacteria, okay. So in case of gram positive there is what variable activity, and in case of gram negative bacteria there is what increase in activity in case of these second generation cephalosporin. So next is what your third generation cephalosporin, okay. So in third generation cephalosporin basic structure again given over here. So examples are what ceftriaxone, okay. Here is what thiazole ring at R1, okay, with this NH2 C double bond N OCH3, okay, at R2 and R3 hydrogen will be there. Next example from third generation is what your cefotoxime, okay. Again similar as like your first example, okay, but at R2 there is what difference CH2O C double bond O CH3. Next example is what your ceftazidime, okay. So again here similar as like your uh, first two examples, but difference is what there is what here acidic group will be substituted instead of this methoxy group, okay, and at R2 there is what pyridine with CH2 and R3 hydrogen will be there. So these are what third generation cephalosporin antibiotics. So the again two examples given over here, okay. So ceftriaxone and cefomenoxane, so respective substituents, okay, at R1 in both examples is similar, okay. Difference is what in these both examples is only at R2 will be there, okay, and R3 again hydrogen will be there. So third generation cephalosporin having what good activity against your gram negative bacteria, but vary in their activity against gram positive cocci, okay. So and having what ability to attack on Pseudomonas aeruginosa, and also varies their activity from structure to structure, and also having a lack of activity against the MRSA organisms, and also having enterobacter species, okay. So in these two kinds of organisms there is what lack of activity of these third generation cephalosporins. Next is what your fourth generation cephalosporin. So examples of fourth generation cephalosporin given over here: cefepime and cefepyrome. Okay, so cefepime and cefepyrome, in both examples at R1 there is what same substitution will be there, thiazole ring with NH2 C double bond N O CH3, but difference is at only R2. Okay, at R3 again hydrogen will be there. So only difference is at what your R2. In case of cefepime there is what pyrrolidine ring with CH3 CH2, and in case of cefepyrome pyridine with 5 member ring fuse CH2. Okay, so these are what fourth generation and fourth generation cephalosporin. Okay, these are having what activity against gram positive cocci mainly, and having a broad array of gram negative bacteria including your Pseudomonas aeruginosa, and having many of the enterobacterial species. Okay, so these are what active against your gram positive cocci and having what broad array of your gram negative bacteria also. So the SAR of your cephalosporin is given over here. So we can you can see into the structure. Okay, so at first position there is what sulfur will be there. So replace this sulfur, we can replace by the oxygen or carbon. Okay, again at second position there is what substitution or replacement of oxygen, sulfur and nitrogen will be there. At third position substitution, we can substitute at third position. Okay, at fourth position there is what COH group. At fifth position there is nitrogen. Sixth there is carbon. At seventh position there is what your acyl amino side chain. Okay, acyl amino substituent. Okay, with you can see the R group has been substituted over here. So at this position we can substitute any kind of particular substituent, so we'll get the different cephalosporins. Okay, so the first is what your 7 acyl amino substitution. Okay, then modification into the C3 substitution and other modifications. Okay, so in this at these different positions we can substitute, from that we will get the SAR of your cephalosporin. So here what the SAR of your cephalosporin explain. Okay, the first point is what your the addition of amino group and a hydrogen to alpha and alpha 1 position produces the basic compound which is protonated under acidic condition of the stomach, and the ammonium ion improves the stability of your beta lactam cephalosporin and makes orally active. Okay, so what is mean by the first point? Into the first structure, into this structure you can see at R there is what alpha and alpha 1 with aromatic ring substitution has been given. Okay, and there is what acyl amino side chain will be there. Okay, so means what the addition to this amino group. Okay, and a hydrogen. Okay, at alpha and alpha 1 position it produces what your basic compound, and which is protonated under what your acidic condition, means into the stomach. Once they were reaches to stomach they were protonated. Okay, and the ammonium ion will improve the stability of your beta lactam ring. Okay, so whatever the ammonium ion after protonation it will improve what your stability of your beta lactam ring of your cephalosporin, and it makes what orally active. Okay, so activity against positive bacteria, second point is what your activity against positive bacteria is increased and gram negative is decreased by acylation of amino group. Okay, so amino group will be there. Once we acylate these amino group, it will what increases the activity against gram positive bacteria and decreases activity against your gram negative bacteria. When the third point is what here, when the new acyl group are derived from carboxylic acid, it shows good spectrum of antibacterial action for gram positive bacteria. Okay, so whatever the new acyl group, okay, derived from your carboxylic acid, okay, it shows what good spectrum of antibacterial activity, okay, from your gram positive bacteria. Fourth point is what your substitution on the aromatic ring phenyl. Okay, substitution onto the aromatic ring phenyl that increases the lipophilicity, provide higher gram positive activity and generally lower gram negative activity. Okay, so So once we substitute on to the phenyl ring, okay, that will increases what your lipophilicity, okay, and lowers the gram negative activity. Okay, lipophilicity increases by providing your gram positive activity, okay, and lowers the activity in case of gram negative bacteria. The fifth point is what your the phenyl ring in side chain can be replaced with other heterocycles. Okay, so whatever the phenyl ring we have to substitute, that can be replaced by whatever heterocycles, okay, with improved spectrum of activity and pharmacokinetic properties. These includes basically thiophene, tetrazole, furan, pyridine and aminothiazoles. Okay, so once we can replace these phenyl ring with these different heterocycles, okay, which improves what your spectrum of activity, also pharmacokinetic properties. The next sixth point is what your the L isomer of your alpha amino alpha 1 hydrogen derivative of cephalosporin was 30 to 40 folds stable than the D isomer. Okay, so whatever the L isomer of these alpha amino alpha 1 hydrogen derivative of cephalosporin is 30 to 40 folds, means 30 to 40 times stable than your D isomer. Okay, so the addition of methoxyoxime, next point is what your addition of methoxyoxime to alpha and alpha 1 increases the acid stability to nearly 100 folds. Okay, and the presence of your catechol grouping can also enhances the activity, particularly against your Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Okay, and also retain their some gram positive activity, which is unused for catechol cephalosporin. Okay, so these compounds penetrate into what you are basically cells by utilizing the bacterial ion beta dependent ion transport. Okay, so the example is given over here. Okay, you can see there is what reduction of gram negative activity, okay, when the lipophilicity of your side chain is increases. Okay, so whatever the side chain at acyl amino, the lipophilicity has been decreases, it leads to what reduction in gram negative activity, and increase also the effect of your polar alpha substituent are enhanced. Okay, so whatever the effect of your polar alpha substituent, means OH group will be there, NH2 group will be there, SO3H will be there, or acidic group will be there. So it increases, okay, so it enhances the what effect of these particular groups. So second major point is what your modification into C3 position. Okay, as we know that C3 position. Okay, so at this position we can modify the these basic structure of cephalosporin, so we will get the different derivatives of cephalosporin. So here the pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamics are dependent on your C3 substituent basically. Okay, so because this C3 substituent is important for what your pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic substituent. Okay, so modification at C3 position has been made to reduce the degradation, the lactone desacetyl cephalosporin of the cephalosporin. Okay, in that again the different subpoint has been given. So the point A is what your the benzyl ester displays or the displayers the improve gram positive activity but lower gram negative activity. Okay, so whatever the substituent at the C3 position, okay, substitution is what your the benzyl ester, okay, which improves your gram positive activity and lower the gram negative activity. Okay, so B point is what your pyridine imidazole replaces the acetoxy group by azide ion yields derivative with relatively low gram negative activity. Okay, whatever these pyridine as well as imidazole, means heterocyclic rings, replaces this acetoxy group. Okay, it leads to what your relatively low gram negative activity. Next C point is what your displacements with aromatic thiol of 3 acetoxy group results in the enhancement of activity against gram negative bacteria with improved pharmacokinetic property. The orally next point is what here, the orally active compound are produced by replacement of acetoxy group at C3 position with CH3 or Cl. So, if we want the oral active drugs, so we have to replace what, this acetoxy group by this CH3 or chloride. Okay. Next is what your other modifications. So, again in other modification there are 5 points. Okay. So, A is what your methoxy group at C7 shows higher resistance to the hydrolysis by beta lactamase. Okay. So, whatever the enzyme this beta lactamase which cleaves this beta lactam ring. So, if methoxy group will substitute at C7 position, it shows what, higher resistance toward your hydrolysis of beta lactam ring. Okay. So, next point is what your oxidation of ring spectrum to sulfoxide or sulfone greatly diminishes or destroy the antibacterial activity. Okay. So, whatever the oxidation will do, okay, it leads to what, sulfoxide or sulfone ring, okay, which what decreases your antibacterial activity. So, next C point is what your replacement of sulfur with oxygen leads to oxazepam. Okay. Example is what your latamoxid, okay, with increased antibacterial activity. Okay. If we replace the sulfur from this 6-member ring, okay, with oxygen, we will get oxazepam. Okay. That structure is what your oxazepam beta lactam antibiotic. But it enhances the activity by acylating power. Okay. So, it enhances what, their acylation power. Okay. And from that the activity has been better. Similarly, the replacement of your sulfur, okay, with methylene group, okay, has what, greater chemical stability and what, longer half life. Okay. So, if this sulfur has been replaced by methylene group, it has what, better stability as well as longer half life. Okay. The carboxyl group at position 4, okay, has what, converted into ester. Okay. Esters, which is what your prodrug we can call to increase viability of cephalosporin and thus can be given orally. Okay. So, next point is what your E. Okay. So, antibacterial activity depends on the olefinic linkage at C3 and C4 position, and their activity lost due to because of what your ionization of double bond to second and third position. Okay. So, this is what about your SAR. Similar whatever the SAR we have discussed, it has given in this particular pictorial diagram. Okay. So, it is what easy to remember. Okay. So, you can remember by these particular pictorial diagram. Okay. Just go through these pictorial diagrams which showing the SAR of your cephalosporin. Okay. So, next we will discuss about what, degradation of cephalosporin. Okay. So, basically cephalosporin having what, degraded by multiple pathways. So, the variety of pathways will be there. So, here what, the hydrolytic degradation reaction has been given. So, first is what your in strong acid solution. Okay. So, in strong acid solution, you can see the first cephalosporin structure, H plus will be there at ADO, means what, your strong acidic condition will be there. So, it leads to what, disacetyl cephalosporin. Okay. And again in the presence of acid, the lactonize will be there, means lactonization means lactone formation will be there. So, you can see into what, CH2OH and CuOH from this disacetyl cephalosporin. Okay. So, lactone ring has been formed and this lactone ring is what, your inactive. Okay. So, this is what the chemical degradation of cephalosporin. Next is what, in the presence of beta lactamase. Okay. So, beta lactam is what, the enzyme which cleave these beta lactam ring. Okay. So, cephalosporin in the presence of beta lactamase will get the what, the cephalosporic acid. Okay. And also will get the anhydrodisacetyl cephalosporic acid. So, these two particular metabolite will get, okay, through these beta lactam enzyme, and the fragmentation as well as rearrangement product has been formed, okay, of these two cephalosporic acid as well as anhydrodisacetyl cephalosporic acid, and these fragmented and rearrangement product, these are what, inactive in nature. Next is what, in the presence of acylase enzyme. Okay. So cephalosporin in the presence of acylase enzyme and water will get the 7-ACA, means what? 7 amino cephalosporinic acid. Again this 7-ACA in the presence of acidic condition will get the disacetyl 7-ACA lactone. Okay. So this lactone is what? Inactive in nature. So this is what the next conversion. Okay. So whatever these reactions, just try to remember, okay, because they were asking examination, practice them. Okay. So next we'll move to the adverse effect. Okay. So here what the allergic reaction, okay, which is causes by the cephalosporin, in that the anaphylaxis, serum sickness, urticaria, then skin rashes, hemolytic anemia, okay, then GIT upset, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. Okay. So these are what the adverse effect. Also nephrotoxicity will causes, okay, so intestinal nephritis, then renal tubular necrosis. Okay. In others there is what? Disulfiram like reaction, local irritation after your intramuscular injections. Okay. Thrombophlebitis, okay, after repeated IV infection of these cephalosporins, then bleeding tendency, uh, eosinophilia and thrombocytosis, okay, defect of newborn babies, pharyngitis, okay, means throat infection, okay, then stillbirth or miscarriage. Okay. So these are what? Different adverse effect of your cephalosporins. Okay. Now we will discuss about what your advantages of these cephalosporin over penicillin. Okay. So what are the different advantages of these cephalosporin over the penicillin? So first is what? You are basically increase acid stability compared to your penicillin. Okay. Whatever cephalosporin having, they are having what? Your more acid stable, okay, than your penicillins. Okay. Next is what? Your most of drugs have a better absorption than penicillins. Okay. So the penicillins are what? Less absorbed drugs than your cephalosporin. So these cephalosporin having what? Your better absorption than your penicillins. Broad antimicrobial spectrum. Okay. So this is what? Next. Next is what? Your increased activity against resistance microorganisms. Okay. So whatever the microorganisms, they are showing resistance toward resistance towards what? Your penicillin. Okay. In that case cephalosporin having what? Your increased activity. Okay. So decrease allergicity, already as we have seen, there is particular penicillins having what? Showing the allergic reaction. So in this case decreased allergicity will be there, means allergic reaction is less in rate as compared to your penicillin. Next is what? Your tolerance than increased tolerance than your penicillin. Okay. So whatever the tolerance is what? Increase in case of cephalosporin than your penicillin. Okay. So these are what? Different advantages of your cephalosporin over penicillin. So here is what? Your cephalosporin has been over. Okay. So whatever the structures we have seen, okay, whatever the degradation pathway we have seen, just practice all the structures, okay, and the reactions, okay, that are necessary and important for your as per your examination. So until in next lecture we'll look about what your other beta lactam antibiotics. Till that, thank you and happy learning.